Hello my loves, welcome back to ZEKE's Lunchbox. This is a part 2 of 3 in reflection, reacting, looking back at my old art. Last week's video was great. You guys told me all about what art you guys made or regrets that you had back in the past. That was fun. I feel like we've grown together, we've kind of bonded over that. Yeah, a commonality seems to be a lot of people used to draw a lot of anime. I feel like I never had an anime phase, but it almost is like a rite of passage. I feel like because I'm Asian, I rejected a lot of that sort of stuff when I was a teenager. I was very much a suburban white kid. So yeah, cat's out of the bag. Now this week's video is going to be interesting. It's kind of a lead up to what I'm doing now. Upon filming this, I thought I could combine everything into one video, but then it was kind of rushing it and I wanted to chat about little phases and stories a little bit more. This video here is kind of about my uni days, which is kind of the dark days, but then at the end, we'll see. No spoilers, you'll just have to watch. Tune in next week because that's when I'll be chatting about the rest of it and yeah, where we're up to now, which is kind of interesting. Before we do that, I want to introduce you to my new friend. This is Herbert. His name is Herbert because his pot plant is in a H. This one here is Shirley, so hi to Herbert and Shirley. Hopefully I don't kill these babies, and I'm really bad at taking care of plants, so any hot tips, let me know. I also wanted to show you guys this gal over here. This is me. Oh, they could be a couple. Greedo and Gremlin's lady. That's cute. A couple of years ago, I was like, why would anybody buy pops? What a waste of money. Here we go. I'm a sucker. All right, I'll be doing a studio tour soon, so, you know, stay tuned for that. I also want to let you guys know that I have a sale going on in my shop. I will be doing free shipping for the next 7 days or so. Use this code over here to get free shipping. Yeah, I have no other way of transitioning into this video other than a very awkward cut. Anyway, we're in 2011 now. I was 21. My work is still not very good. These are the dark years of my art, where it's just like, it was aight, but it wasn't like amazing yet, you know? Like this piece here, I mean, I would say I still draw like a fat giraffe is really good. A lot of the animals from this, I feel like doing this piece really taught me how to draw a lot of other animals. And yeah, I think the animals in this are pretty good. The composition's kind of interesting. All right, going back to this triangle piece, this is like one of the very first prints that I made because I was like, I don't know, art's always just been my side hustle. I've always been like, I've always had an entrepreneurial side to me where I've always had some kind of hustle. So yeah, I would love to know if any of you guys are watching this right now and you got one of these prints, because that's kind of interesting. That's like hell old now. That's really from the archives. Doodle Desert. You saw the illustrations from those black and white moleskin illustrations. They weren't very good. And here's like a bunch that I had collected. This was the project that I wanted to do with all of those. So I just wanted to make this like weird like barren landscape with all of these like illustrations on top of them. Like I mean, I can't be like, what was the point in any of this? I mean, I never released any of this stuff. It was all just an experiment to me, especially because Photoshop was like really new and fun to play with because it was like a whole new way of making images. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, they were like 3 long panels and they were all meant to like join together, but like they're not very good. I do like this chick in the middle, but only because of the circle, I think. And this one I think might be like the most successful one because it's like got a little bit of depth in it. I don't know, cool little experiments. They don't necessarily have to go anywhere. It's just, you just do them because you like making art, you know? None of this stuff at the time seemed like it was going anywhere. It all builds up to something. Like if I had never done any of this stuff, I wouldn't be where I am now, you know? So that's really the biggest positive that I can take out of a lot of this. Oh, and this is all of them all put together. This tiny little file. I mean, if I saw this wheat pasted up on the street somewhere, that would have been really cool. Cause like, you know, you're walking down the street and you're seeing this like weird landscape of like illustrations all come together. That'd be pretty cool. It's funny, like back then I just didn't really have like the guts to put my art out there. What else? Tears for Spheres. Another series that never went anywhere. I mean, I'm still kind of doing this. I'm really hoping like my tarot card project doesn't become like another project that I abandon. It won't. Now, from what I've learned, all of these like interruptions, I don't see them as like failures. Like failure isn't the antithesis of success. It's like part of the process to success. So yeah, that's how I'm going to reason all of these drawings. This piece here, I think is still one of my favorites. This piece is kind of the beginning of my whole like spacey alien girl thing. This piece is alright. I feel like her proportions are really weird. I really like the fact that it's in a circle. Oh, you can see the eye patch thing is coming in again. I don't know, that was just like a fashion thing that I really liked. I feel like the background, this like spacey background thing is pretty cool. Piece feels like it was the really early Genesis days of where I am right now. Her mouth is so small. Like, why is her mouth so small? And the hand, like when you're painting a hand, your hand is almost the same size as your face, all right? Especially when it's this close, all right? Why the heck, why the flippin' heck is her hand so small? Green skin, still doing that. I remember selling it for like $20. So to anybody who has that, well done to you. Gosh, yeah, that's some serious nostalgia. All right, and here is the other one in the series, which isn't as successful. I think it's like, why is it so like sketchy? I don't know. I wanted to do like a whole series of these like circle girls. Let's move on out of 2011. I'd love to show you guys my fashion stuff, although I feel like that's actually going to be more painful than this stuff. This stuff is fine. It's just like nothing special for me, to be honest. Now, 2012, this was a good year for me because I met Rel. Rel has changed my life. I didn't really know where I was heading when it came to my art career or what I wanted to really do, because as soon as uni finished, I was like, I don't really want to do fashion, this is hell. And I went back to what I truly wanted to do, which was art. Both Rel and I were budding artists, and we've kind of grown a lot together in a relationship and also as artists. Yeah, I guess meeting him has really just like pushed me to want to like do that. So this is when my work starts to like really form. Rel and I both met at a gallery show. You can see here his name is Terrible Horrible and mine is Julia Angelina Rich. Do I really want to put that out to the world? No, but that was the name. I didn't even go as Zeke's lunchbox yet. So that's interesting. All right. I think this was the first year I was on Instagram as well. Instagram like really held me accountable with a lot of my art. This is a kind of culmination of the art and fashion stuff that I did together. I mean, this stuff was pretty good at the time. I did a lot of wheat pasting with this stuff. That was something I made in my fashion class. They really encourage that like scribbly mess look. I don't really like it. That's not my thing. What's in street? Oh yeah, here's some old street art stuff. Aww. This is an old photo of me and Rel. Aw, I love how I was like, I hate looking back at photos, and this one's like really cute to me. This was one of our very first dates when we went wheat pasting. That's kind of cute. Oh, here's a very old wall that Rel and I did. Let's put this wall up with this wall and the dates. See, if you practice, you get a lot better. I hope that's inspiring to you. Here's some wheat pasted stuff of the circle girls that I did. They're pretty good. I think when you take my work and put it on the street and put it in a wheat paste, it's like, I don't know, it changes your expectations of how you see artwork. These are cute photos. And yeah, just another art thing. This piece here was really big. This was like a big, this is Rel's work, by the way. Are you seeing like the change in my tone now? I'm actually starting to get excited because this is like when it starts to get really interesting and I start to like really work on my art. Rel was the actual artist before when we both got together. So this was the sort of stuff that he was making. This was like life-size, this piece. And it was like inspired by a Tom Waits album cover, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, anyway, I took these photos on like a disposable camera because that was like hipster and arty, you know? Yeah, some more wheat pasting stuff. I feel like wheat pasting is something that's very like early 2000s. I don't know if it really gets done all that much anymore, especially because we're really in an age of like big murals. Especially now I know how to paint murals, so it seems weird to do wheat paste again, but I'm considering it. Okay, 2013. This is, I think 2013 is possibly the last year of university for me. So again, that whole stage of my life it was starting to come to a close. After being really trapped in with uni and really being forced to do what they wanted me to do, I was like, I'm free and I can make work that I wanted to make. So note how much fuller this album or this year is compared to my other years. I think 2010 was one of the worst ones. Yeah, look at that. There's nothing in that one compared to 2013. This is the first year that I was starting to be in like group shows, and I was just getting really excited about like where my future was heading. Fashion was truly well and over. So I just went balls to the wall and launched into art. I did what I always seem to do and start a new series. This one actually went somewhere. This was pretty cool. I started like the Garbage Girl series, which was like portraits of women that are meant to be really sensual, but also kind of like subverting what beauty is. That sort of rebellious nature is still very much prevalent in my work now. I still really like these pieces because I also started an Instagram account. I was starting to get really intense, good feedback, and it was like just a really joyous, happy time when it came to my work. Out of this whole series, I think this piece is one of my favorites. You can see the recurring theme of like multicolored skin, especially with like the snotty nose with like this piece here. Yeah, there's a lot of things that just are kind of the same. A lot of these are really cute. I really like this like squishy blobby boob. Technical level, I feel like I can do a lot better. The hair, I still don't think is very good in a lot of these. I liked this GIF. This is cool. Remember when Tumblr was all the rage? I specifically made this for Tumblr. Yeah, 2013. What a year. Let's get into sci-fi. That's when I'm really starting to do like Zeke's lunchbox as like legit, you know? A lot of this work was made for one of my very first solo shows, and that whole like robotic science fiction sex bot kind of thing I was really obsessed with. Yeah, that's I guess where a lot of these came from. I really liked a lot of like lowbrow 80s VHS covers and wanted to make work that kind of reflected that. Why I put this like weird frame on top of it, I'm not sure. I thought that would add and like center the piece. I feel like at this point I had really cool fresh ideas and I was really inspired, so I felt like my ideas here were just starting to like come into fruition, and I was really starting to form the Zeke's Lunchbox identity. And I really like the characters that I've done in this piece. I'd like to reincorporate that sort of stuff in my work. This piece was one of my favorite at the time. I just really liked that whole David Bowie cool electronica thing. You get where I'm going, right? And here's some more like collaged illustration fembot sort of stuff. I haven't seen these in years. It's crazy. In a few years, I feel like I've grown so much on a technical level. Like what, this was when I was 23. I don't know, compared that to now, it's kind of crazy. So here is one of the very first paintings that I did with acrylic. I still really love this piece. You can see I was kind of doing that whole like in the ether, sci-fi, geometric thing. I was really trying to do a lot more like patchier skin because I kind of liked that whole painterly look. I think at this point I had just bought like a bunch of Matisse acrylic, so I was like, I'm gonna experiment with all of the paintings now. This was a good breakthrough for me, you know? It was pretty good. Pretty good! Alright, my loves, that is it for this week. Alright. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next week. Do not disappoint my little girl, okay? Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and check out my website if you want to see all the other work I've been up to lately. The shop has free shipping for this week only, so go check it out, and we'll see you next week. Bye!